Last month, I reviewed the M64, a competitor to the Analogue 3D, and I said it was a good system for the price, but compared to the competition, it had some notable flaws, particularly when it came to performance of N64 games. But it recently got an update, prior to its release just a few days from now, which apparently addressed those concerns. So I wanted to take it through its paces and see how much better it is now. So first up, can it finally pass the Divine test in Donkey Kong 64? Yeah, not quite yet, but maybe in a future update. But luckily, everything else I tested is looking a lot better. Such as Super Mario 64, because as you might recall in my original review, which is what you're looking at right now, the M64 ran the game far slower than the original hardware and Analogue 3D, meaning if you synced up all three as we did here, it fell way behind. But with the new firmware update being 1.22, as you can see, it's a lot closer now. Yet, it still isn't perfect, as it too falls behind the other platforms as it's running the game a bit slower, even if it is a lot closer than it used to be, and you probably won't notice during normal gameplay. Now, one thing I should mention is that there's a new overclock setting you can use across your entire library of games that can not only address issues like this, but run the games far better than they did on the original hardware. To the point that this title screen actually ran faster than it did on the original Nintendo 64. I tried out the new Insane option when overclocking on Perfect Dark's opening cutscene and actually ran at a shockingly smooth frame rate now. But with overclocking turned off, it appeared to run at a slower frame rate than the game did on original hardware. In better news, even with overclocking turned off, the M64 now appear to run Star Fox 64 even more accurately than the Analogue 3D did. Now granted, it's a minor difference, but it's still a huge up from the previous version of the M64 that we tested in our first review. So I have to say, with the new update, the M64 is a notably better system than it was a few weeks ago, thanks to overclocking and more accurate performance, even if it's still not perfect. Unfortunately for the M64, the Analogue 3D is also a better system than it was a few weeks ago, thanks to the recent addition of save states, and also, more recently, the internal hardware upscaling, making your N64 games look even better than they did on original hardware. And with only a $40 price point difference between the two, with this being a little bit more expensive, I have to say that if you're still choosing between these two, the Analogue 3D is probably still the better option. With that being said, modretro has been very on top of updates and transparent with the updates, and this system continues to get better as well. So if these two continue to improve each other, that can only be a good thing for consumers in the end. And it is possible that this could end up being the better system in the long run. But for right now, I do have to say that the Analogue 3D is my preferred of the two, but for $40 cheaper, this isn't a bad option either. So right now, you really can't go wrong with either choice, even if again, the Analogue 3D is a little bit better at this point. So with that, everyone, thank you for watching. If you want to see more on the M64, make sure to check out my previous review where I go into more detail on everything else about the system, including things I wasn't able to talk about here. But for right now, I wanted to address the key points that they updated in the most recent update. So with that, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll catch you later. Bye.